everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about the foundation of every single thing I do when it comes to cooking and eating, and that's my food philosophy. And yes, this channel will be full of recipes and other handy things that will make conscious cooking and eating easy for you. But all that information and all the things I share comes from a certain place, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of feeling. So in other words, there's a reason behind what I do and what I share, and today I'll be telling you more about it. So this video is one of a series of videos I'll be sharing on my food philosophy. So if you'd like to make sure you get notified when the other videos are published, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. So let's start at the beginning. On my Instagram, on my website, and on this channel, I talk a lot about conscious cooking. But what is conscious, or what is consciousness? It's the red line in my food philosophy. That's the first. But there are many definitions, and I very much connect with one specific one, and that is that consciousness is being aware or being awake. It's all about having knowledge of what happens inside you and around you. So does that mean that you need to be aware or awake during cooking or eating? It doesn't. Might be handy, but what I'm talking about today is actually something different. So being conscious means that you're able to question all aspects of life. So instead of just consuming blindly whatever comes your way, you ask questions beforehand. And it's that question part, or that asking questions part, that I apply to my food consumption every single day. So for example, I'll be asking questions like, what is that veggie burger made of? Where does that mango come from? Should I bring a plastic bag to the grocery store? Or why is it packed the way it is? And maybe the most important one of all, can I do things differently? So this ability to question things makes consciousness the key to change, because by asking questions and by researching, you gain knowledge, and knowledge is power, or knowledge empowers you. Because with that knowledge, you can decide if you like something, if it's in line with your values, or if it just makes sense. So that knowledge can lead to change and to changing things for the better. So for example, when I found out that that mango I found in the supermarket in winter had to come all the way from whatever country, I stopped buying it, because I understood that if it had to come all the way from the other side of the world, it will have a lot of transport miles. And from earlier research, I knew that transport miles are actually what makes certain foods a non-sustainable option, because gas emissions, etc. So this is just an example that shows you that that knowledge can change things for the better. So I guess the core message here is that you need to question everything. Ask why things are the way they are, and if you'd like to see them differently, or if you think they can be done differently. Even question the things I'm saying. I mean, I'm only sharing what I know and researched thus far, and there's still so much to learn, and I might change my mind tomorrow. So now we got that covered, let's go back in time a bit. Today we live in a society where a lot of people are the opposite of being conscious, unconscious. And I don't mean the type of unconscious that you are fainted or anything like that. I mean unconscious in the sense that we just take whatever comes our way. So there are many, many people in this world that just blindly consume whatever they have in front of them. But where does it come from? Like, how did we become like this? One word: industrialization. So industrialization was a period of change where we shifted from an agrarian society to an industrial society. So simply put, this meant that our society changed from one in which we relied on the land to one in which we relied on mass production and machines. At this time, people left their direct source of food, their farm, behind to live in cities. That meant that they became dependent on other sources of food. So people literally disconnected from their source of food. Like, we lost knowledge on how it was produced and where it came from, etc., etc., etc. And more, we had to rely on third-party organizations when it comes to food security and food safety. So fast forward a few decades, and here we are in a society that's even more reliant on those organizations than probably a few decades ago. So our society currently heavily relies on third-party organizations when it comes to our food, like governments, farmers, you name it. And we blindly trust those people. And that, my friends, is where consciousness comes in, because the food we get served might be very, very safe. And it is. We live in a very safe time and we shouldn't take that for granted. But the fact that our food is safe doesn't mean that it's healthy or that it's good from a planet perspective. But how do you find that out? How do you find out what is good? By asking questions. So luckily, more and more people are asking those questions nowadays as we are becoming more aware of how our consumption behavior is affecting our surroundings. And we're starting to understand that we need to have a more holistic approach to cooking and eating, which I'll be discussing in one of my next videos. So, if you'd like to become a more conscious consumer, make sure to keep watching, because I'll be sharing a few things that will help you do just that. So there are 3 things that help me massively in becoming a more conscious consumer. 1, read the label. It's there for a reason. It's packed with information on a product's ingredients, how it's made, and where it's made. And you'll notice once you start reading more into the labels, you'll tend to move away from products that actually need a label. When I started reading labels, I found out that a lot of products actually have a lot of nasty things in them. So I figured it's probably better just to make my hummus myself and all the other things that I used to buy in a grocery store. So 2, have a conversation. Talk with your friends, talk with other people that are redeveloping their relationship with food. Talk with the people that work in a grocery store or at the market where you get your groceries. You'll be surprised how many things people know about food and how passionate people are about sharing that information. It's a beautiful thing that we actually get to share all that knowledge. So just talk. And then the last one, a simple one, do your research. Start reading into blogs, read books, watch documentaries, listen to podcasts, or watch YouTube videos like mine. There's so many good sources that are able to provide you with more information on better ways of cooking and eating. One side note, make sure to question your source. I understand this might feel like a lot, and I never said becoming a more conscious cook was an easy thing, but I'm here to help you a hand. And also remember that it's a big learning process. Like it probably takes a while for you to develop this knowledge, and it took me a couple of years to get where I am today, and there's still so much to learn. So to recap, being conscious is at the foundation of everything I do. It's about being aware and asking questions and not just doing things in a way because you are told to do them that way. We lost our connection with food, with the source of food, a few decades ago, and our society nowadays heavily relies on third-party organizations when it comes to food security and safety. But in order to create better ways of cooking and eating, we need to become aware of what's going on inside of us and around us. And we need to start asking why. All right, that's the first video of my food philosophy series. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And like I said, I'll be creating and posting a few more videos on this topic, in which I'll dive into how you can approach cooking and eating from a more holistic perspective. I'll be talking about how you can eat in a way that makes you and the planet thrive, and I'll be discussing why I'm not 100% vegan. So if you have any questions regarding this topic, or if you'd like to share a thought about this topic, make sure to leave a comment below. I'm very interested in hearing your opinion. I feel this should be an open conversation. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time.